This week on Unscripted, news like final headlines coming out of the Greatest Royal Rumble, plus some news on the Smackdown Live 1000 episode coming up this year. Yes, it is actually coming up this year, and the real reason why Samoa Joe was drafted to Smackdown Live. This and more on the future #1 podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Unscripted. What is going on, everybody? This is the Franz, and we are back for another episode of Unscripted. As you see right here, we do have ourselves a nice new little layout that I got done creating. I know it's not the best thing out there, and it's going to improve as we go, but I think it was time we got away from just the picture and everything. Raw, SmackDown, NXT will also have their own special renditions of this as well as pay-per-views. Those will also get some special math and workups too. But this has been a crazy week for WWE. We had Raw, SmackDown, which really didn't do nothing, no build, not too much build to Backlash outside of Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns and a few women matches because they couldn't go to the Greatest Royal Rumble, and Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. That match, of course, was named. Everything else was centered around the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was, in my opinion, a glorified house show. And I will have a little thoughts on what Jonathan Coachman had to say about one fan calling it a glorified house show. No, it wasn't me, but yes, I will talk more about that later on in the show. Raw, of course, had only Roman Reigns sitting there, getting him coming out after the plans that everybody knew they were plans to get this guy over. Come out, doesn't even interact with Brock Lesnar other than to say that I don't know what's going to happen there, but I'm going to leave Universal Champion, which he didn't. Thank fucking God. This guy does not need another title match, period. SmackDown didn't do much either, just, Shinsuke Nakamura getting new music was like the only highlight of that show. The low point of the show was another women's segment. So Carmella's last two segments on SmackDown Live the last 2 weeks honestly could rival the Bayley This Is Your Life segment from last year. That's a bad thing to try and mirror too, just saying. So NXT, of course, was beautiful. It was awesome. Tommaso Ciampa is the best heel in all of the professional wrestling at this time, in my opinion. But Aleister Black also got his words in, and it looks like they're gearing towards, and what I'm hoping for, because we haven't seen it in a while, and we haven't seen a multi-man NXT Championship match since Fatal 4-Way, where we get a triple threat match at Takeover Chicago, and Tommaso Ciampa is the one to take the NXT Championship away from Aleister Black by pinning Aleister, while somehow, someway, like Johnny Gargano's compromised and he's like watching as Aleister Black gets pinned. And the one thing that he's been wanting since he's been back in WWE to be the NXT champion. That would be, in my opinion, just the icing on the cake to have this whole thing end, like this portion of the thing end, where Aleister Black loses the title in a triple threat match by getting pinned by Tommaso Ciampa. So it builds to a match at Brooklyn where it's Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, the two men who have pinned Aleister Black for the NXT Championship in some kind of stipulation match. And quite honestly, if this rivalry was booked this way on the main roster, there's only one way you would settle it, and that would be inside Hell in a Cell. I know they're not going to do that for these guys. It's just not in WWE to use that. I mean, they did use War Games, which is NXT's brand. That's NXT's Hell in a Cell, practically. It's War Games. But we're not going to see them in a War Games type environment, just one-on-one. So I'd be looking forward to seeing what they do with these guys. Of course, Sanity got the goodbye by everyone eating a black mass. They did highlight the women a lot more, probably because most women couldn't go to, like, none of the women could go to Saudi Arabia. So there was that. Then we get to the Greatest Royal Rumble, where Titus O'Neil, if he ever does go into the Hall of Fame in, I don't know, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years or something, his moment at the Royal Rumble this year has to be in that package, because that was the funniest moment. And apparently Vince McMahon loved it and was laughing. Like, the whole reason we saw like 4, 5, 6, 7 times camera cuts and replays of this is because Vince McMahon was in the back laughing his ass off at this moment that he wanted to just be shown again and again and again. So one, I'm sure we'll see it on Monday Night Raw again, because Michael Cole just lost his shit and could not continue with the show until he let us know that this was the funniest thing he's ever fucking seen. Braun Strowman winning this thing means absolutely nothing. Daniel Bryan being the Iron Man in this match and lasting an hour and 15 minutes, asterisking himself to beat the record of Rey Mysterio, and Braun Strowman, of course, beating Roman Reigns' record, put an asterisk beside him because these guys had 50 men to go through and not 30 men. But for Braun Strowman, I could also say not much of an asterisk, because he could have came in when he did, and there was like there could have been like 5 people left. Like 10, like 9 people, like 8 or 7 people left in the match. I think he came in at 42. Like, there could have been like 7 people left in the match, and that's all he got. So it's not as bad for Braun Strowman, because it's realistically that somebody, if they were in early in a regular Royal Rumble, or came in at a time where there's a lot of men in the Royal Rumble, somebody can break that record of 12 easily, like a Braun Strowman. Say next year he goes out and he does 14. But Rey Mysterio winning, like, Rey Mysterio's record still should be at the January event, simply because he only had 30 to go through. He didn't have 40. Another thing that that no one else mentioned, that this actually takes away from somebody that I hope never comes back to WWE, is Alberto Del Rio was the winner of the 40-man Rumble, and now he no longer holds the notion of winning the biggest Royal Rumble in WWE history. That now belongs to Braun Strowman. Can I also think that the trophy, can WWE not make a trophy that is like normal size, that people can actually lift up and carry around? This thing didn't even look like a trophy. This thing looked like a statue. A statue you would put in the middle of your house, if you have not your house but your mansion, on like where the stairs like loop around. That's what that felt like. It looked like a freaking statue that you would just put in your house so that people can admire it. And then, of course, the green belt, which we'll probably see on Monday and never see again. The rest of the show for this was outside the Cruiserweight Championship match, which was an excellent match, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. There was nothing else important about the show. This show was a house show. It literally was a house show. And I think WWE did what they, like, Saudi Arabia, I guess, is going to be paying WWE up to $250 million over the next 10 years, I think is what it was. And that is ridiculously a lot of money. But WWE, who had to cut back so much last year, we lost Pyro, we lost shows on the network. Something's going on outside. I can hear the sirens. I'm going to keep that in. But we lost so much stuff on the network and all over WWE last year that they had to cut it out because they were hemorrhaging money and they had to cut back to break even. I'm pretty sure they just made up everything from last year in this entire show. Undertaker versus Rusev was not necessary. It was just to get Undertaker on the show. The John Cena Triple H match, again, not necessary. Honestly, I think those two should have been in the Royal Rumble themselves, because there was a lot of filler for that show. There was a lot of filler. If you haven't seen my review yet, go check it out. I'm going to try and put an annotation in the video as we go. Make sure to all check out my Smackdown, Raw, and NXT reviews for the week. Not much happened again on those two, but WWE booked this show stacked this show and gave us pretty much a flat show. Titus O'Neil, of course, made his fame, and after Titus O'Neil is gone, the Titus World Slide meme will be around forever. That is going to be a GIF that lasts forever. Mauro Ranallo called at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, Ricochet, the GIF that keeps on giving. We can give that to Titus O'Neil now because that GIF and that meme is going to be around forever. So, what's going on with the news now? Let's start this off with Nixon Newell, if anybody watched What Culture Pro Wrestling or now Defiant Wrestling in early 2000, all of 2000, like mid 2016, early 2017, you would have seen the inaugural women's champion Nixon Newell put on a hell of a show. She had a rivalry with Will Ospreay's girlfriend Bea Priestley. They had a short but brutal looking hardcore no disqualification match, which ended with a curb stomp blackout through on a chair from Nixon Newell. That was just a brutal looking spot. But anyway, she recently spoke to WWE.com about her injury that she had that took her out of the Mae Young Classic. Nixon Newell was of course supposed to be one of the inaugural Mae Young Classic winners. Not winners, but participants. I believe Tessa Blanchard was the one who replaced her. So maybe maybe they're keeping her because they're doing the Mae Young Classic again this year. Maybe she'll be able to redeem herself and be in the Mae Young Classic. Nixon explains on how her injury happened and her mindset afterwards. It happened during training, she says. It was just a fluke accident. I was running a drill, my foot stayed perfectly forward, but my body turned the other way, and I dislocated my knee and tore my ACL at the same time. Luckily, as soon as I hit the mat, my knee popped back in. So it was one less thing I had to deal with, but it happened literally 2 or 3 weeks after I arrived at the WWE Performance Center. So the timing was very inappropriate with the Mae Young Classic being so close as well. As soon as I hit the mat, I knew something was wrong, and I knew deep down I was out of the Mae Young Classic. When I got injured, I was crying, not because of the pain, but because I knew I was out of the Mae Young Classic. She also talks about her injury leading to a strong friendship with Dakota Kai, who, when she did make her return to an NXT house show or a live event, she teamed up with Dakota Kai, and it looks like maybe they might, when she does come to TV, if it's not in the Mae Young Classic, she might actually make her debut helping Dakota Kai deal with Shayna Baszler or helping her out with that. Unfortunately, the injury happened while we were running a drill together, and in a weird way, that kind of strengthened our bond. We started at the PC on the same day. We arrived at the airport at the exact same time and drove from the airport to our apartment in the same car. But I think the injury strengthened the friendship more than anything because she was there at the time it happened, and she will continue to be there. She has been my rock. She's become one of my best friends, and I genuinely don't know what I'd do without her. I am very excited to see where this friendship and this tag team dues go. Nixon Newell on being hit with the shiniest wizard again. And of course Nixon Newell, her finisher is called the shiniest wizard. It's just a shining wizard, but she calls it the shiniest wizard of them all. Which it's a pretty nasty one. She says, yes, it was really excited to start hitting some shining wizards again. I'd done that move for so long that it was become me almost. I know I'm the girl who hit the shiniest wizard, so to be able to do that move again just made me feel happy. It was the first day I was back in the ring wrestling people. Dakota and I were just messing around, and she said, hit me with the shining wizard. I was like, no, I've got this big leg brace. I don't want to do it, and she's like, no, do it. As soon as I hit it, it was just incredible. Then she goes on to talk about her positive reception to her NXT debut, which, of course, was a couple weeks ago. And she hasn't made it to TV yet, and like I said, I'm really hoping she does come out soon. If not, she will probably be one of the new participants in the next Mae Young Classic, which still has not had a date yet. She says, I was surprised with the reception that I had. I didn't know if anybody knew me, but people started chanting, you deserve it, which almost brought me to tears in the ring. I looked at Dakota, and she's like, let's try to keep it together, laughs. Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan, who are both dear friends of mine, made the trip to be there in person to have the respect of my peers and my colleagues with how they reacted before, during, and after the match. Means the world to me. I generally make my heart so happy. It makes me so emotional, but in the best way possible, to know that they feel the way about me. It means the absolute world. I am excited to see what happens with Nixon Newell. Now, of course, when she came into WWE, they actually changed her name from Nixon to Stephanie Newell. And I was like, it is spelled the same way as the $1 Billion Princess. So I was like, first off, I don't think, honestly, in WWE's world, I don't think anybody should have the name Stephanie. I think that name should be ripped from the availability because Stephanie McMahon. So, and when she made her return at a NXT live event, she was actually billed by her real name, which is Nixon Newell, Newell. So hopefully she sticks with the Nixon name, or they give her a more non-confusing name, because if you say did you see Stephanie wrestle? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Stephanie's not a wrestler. Oh, you mean Stephanie Newell in NXT? No, that's just gonna mess it up if you like, because you know there's people out there that's like, hey, did you see such and such wrestle? And they have a two words to their name in wrestling, but most people just use their first. Like, hey, did you see Nixon wrestle? I'm like, oh, Nixon Newell, cool, yeah, I've seen her wrestle. She's pretty good, pretty damn decent. But if you have somebody go out and be like, hey, did you see Stephanie? She made a return to NXT, and I'm like, you mean Stephanie McMahon? Oh, Stephanie Newell. Oh, okay. No, they need, like, Nixon Newell is a good name for her to use, but of course it was just a live event. Maybe it was just for them to do that. So we'll have to wait and see. Great. She is a great talent. WWE main, like, has a great talent with them. It's good to see that she is actually back, and she's actually going to actually get a chance to be in NXT. She's just going to make that women's division a lot more stronger, even though that women's division has Dakota Kai, it has Kairi Sane, it has Shayna Baszler, it has Lacey Evans, it has Bianca Belair already, Vanessa Bourne. Adding Nixon Newell to that team right there, and there's other ones too I can't think off the top of my head, that is just making it stronger as can be. Honestly, I don't think the reason they say Nikki Cross is staying down in NXT is because they need the help, because Shayna Baszler really doesn't have any opponents to go against. They've been building up Lacey Evans. They've been building up Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane, of course, is there. Nixon, like Dakota Kai, looks like she's going to do something with Shayna Baszler just because of past history. And then, of course, if Nixon makes her debut here in the next, like between now and the next takeover or after that, they really don't need Nikki Cross, because that's 5 women right there that in the end could probably do well with Shayna Baszler. So we'll have to just wait and see. And Shayna Baszler versus Nixon Newell would be a hell of a match, because Nixon Newell knows how to take a beating and give one back. WrestleMania wins a reward beating out MTV and I guess Pokemon. WWE announced the following on their website a couple days ago. WWE has honored with the 2018 Webby Award and People's Voice Webby Award in the events category for its impressive WrestleMania 33 coverage. The People's Voice Award is chosen by voting in public in each Webby Awards category and the social events category. Last year's showcase of the Immortals beat out MTV's 2017 EMA coverage, the World Series presented by YouTube, the iHeartRadio Music Awards, and Pokemon Go Travel's Global Catch Challenge, which was, I believe, a pretty bad day for that group. WWE was also an honoree in 3 other categories: WrestleMania 33 Kickoff in film and video events and live streams, WWE Now in films and video, sports, and WWE Social Media and social entertainment. The Webby Awards are full internet respected symbol of success. Thank you, WWE Universe, for making your voices heard. So, congratulations to WWE on more awards. You know, they're just going to probably sit out there. I'm pretty sure, because I think this was actually announced earlier this week, so I'm pretty sure we'll hear about this from Michael Cole on Monday night and probably by Tom Phillips on Tuesday, because you know when WWE wins an award like this, even though it should mean nothing, they like to just drill it into you that they're just killing everybody and they're doing everything they can right. Moving on here, this is great. I love what I read here, and this is Bayley and Sasha Banks actually using social media rights. Tommaso Ciampa uses social media right to be like, just sit there and be like, hey, listen, fuck the fans, fuck the company, fuck everybody. I'm all about me. Fuck Johnny Gargano. I'm going to sit here and say what I feel. He posts a picture when Johnny Gargano got hit in the back, when he hit Johnny Gargano in the back with the crutch the first time. Made some comments about that. When he cost Johnny Gargano his job, he's doing social media right. Bayley is answering a fan because, as you saw on Monday Night Raw, she was hugging a kid. I think it was a female kid, and this guy was just sitting there with his arms open, waiting for Bayley to hug him. First off, dude, you don't know what to do. She's here for the kids, and he's just sitting there. She walks by, and he taps her on the shoulder, and someone posted on social media that, Bayley, you left this guy high and dry. Bayley was like, I'm sorry, I was so excited with this kid, and next time, dude, rain check. Sasha Banks has a nice little comment for it. Bayley, of course, answered this guy, my bad, dude, I was caught up with the moment between me and that little girl. Next time. Sasha Banks also then says, Bayley hates her fans. Bayley replies, no, just you. Love it, love it, love it. Then, of course, I believe 2-3 days ago, Sasha Banks put a tweet out, or on Instagram, that she put a picture of herself in one of her little poses and said, the boss is back. And pretty much said you're not here to be her friend, you're here to be champion. The boss is back. So it looks like we're going to get the boss, Ratchet Sasha Banks, as people call her, the heel that Sasha Banks needs to be. I'm looking forward to that, and that little exchange right there just shows that this is a good feud, and this is the feud that should have been the WWE Raw Women's Championship going into WrestleMania and that Backlash. This bully campaign shit that we see between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax is just so fucking annoying and stupid. I can't fucking stand it. It's fucking turn off TV worthy. Like, if I wasn't doing all the shit that I do with this right here, as soon as that happens, I'm turning the channel or I'm turning off my fucking TV. That moment of bliss where she's sitting there with alligator tears in her fucking eyes, sitting there trying to make up these bullshit stories of how Nia Jax is the real bully, fucking MTV shit that I don't want to see, Total Divas bullshit that I don't need to see on my wrestling show, Sasha Banks and Bayley beating the hell out of each other, fighting and wanting to be women's champion is what the title deserves, not this bullshit that we see between Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. So the sooner you get Bayley and Sasha Banks for the women's championship and what the feud should be about, the better. Get that title off of Nia Jax, remove Alexa Bliss from the title scene, and let's move on. Reason Paige wasn't on Smackdown this week. I just figured it was a week that they didn't need to show Paige, and Shane wasn't on Smackdown either, which is fine. Paige was apparently off back home with her family, and anybody who's like, oh, where's Paige? Do you realize when SmackDown when we started the brand split and SmackDown became SmackDown Live, SmackDown, like Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack said, me and Shane want the fans to see the superstars more than they do us. And for the most part, for the first 10 months, 13 months maybe, that was the case. You didn't see Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon that often. So Paige not being on SmackDown this week, Shane as well, even though AJ Styles walked out of Shane McMahon's office, was fine for me. I don't know, like, people are sitting there freaking out. It's like, where's Paige? Where's Shane? Because it really doesn't matter. But apparently, she was at home in England this past week, which is why she wasn't on SmackDown Live this past Tuesday night. Her brother, Roy Knight, noted on Twitter that she's the happiest he's seen her in years, which is good for Paige. Speaking of Paige, the film Fighting With My Family that we got that cringy smiling Paige here before at the Hall of Fame and at WrestleMania, I believe the next night on Raw, has been pushed back to next year. So the ads that we kept seeing of Paige and her brother in the movie running into The Rock, which I bet you that didn't actually happen, it was just for them to put into the movie, has been pushed back. And the reason why, Deadline.com reported the release date of the upcoming movie Fighting With My Family, which is based on the life and WWE superstar Paige, or SmackDown GM now, and her family, has been pushed back from September 16th to March 1st. This is being done so the feature, which is being produced by The Rock, avoids what will be a jam-packed weekend of releases. So basically, yeah, again, you got Infinity, which just came out this past Friday, and you have a bunch of other movies that are coming out as well. They just want to avoid that and put it in March when typically there's not, like, the movie season for, like, the big movies is summer and then fall. But March is usually when we don't get as many jam-packed, we don't get all the heavy hitters. So anybody who's been wanting to see Fighting With My Family on September 14th, now you have to wait till March 1st of next year. I really don't care. I haven't really been much of a movie guy lately. I haven't watched movies, and I haven't watched a legit new movie, since Deadpool in 2014. So, not a big deal for me. And if they do come out with these advertisements, please show us something else in the movie. When you do the same freaking scene every single time, it gets kind of boring. But at least just, like, show us, like, my name's Paige, and, like, do one of those things, especially to the music that they played before, they're in it to The Rock, that do, like, whatever that was, that you would usually say, like, my name's Paige, and part of that, and they show scenes and clips from the movie. And of course, I believe the scene that the final end of the end of the movie is going to be when she makes her Raw debut. I think that's what the whole end of that movie is going to be. At least that's what I've read. But yes, anybody who wanted to see Fighting With My Family, you got a little over a year to wait. Big news on SmackDown's 1,000th episode, and when will that air? Chris Harrington, Mookie Hara, and other Twitter users noted that this week that the 1000th WWE SmackDown episode will take place on Tuesday, October 16th. This should make for a major episode as it will be during the build for Survivor Series, which takes place on November 18th. It looks like SmackDown 1000 will take place from Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. as WWE lawsuits filed during WrestleMania 34 week to stop bootleg merchandise revealed some dates for 2018-19. WWE has not yet officially announced the date yet, but we'll keep you updated. Honestly, I don't think they're going to say anything about SmackDown 1000 until we get closer to the date. It is only April, and if that's October 16th, I would say we would probably not hear a thing about it until either August at SummerSlam or in September. And if it is they build to Survivor Series, honestly, I'm pretty sure we'll probably have something like we saw in the Raw 25 special where we'll probably see The Rock. I mean, they have to have The Rock come back for this if they can. The Rock, we'll have Triple H, we'll have DX, we'll have this person, that person, so they'll have nostalgia. You'll probably have Stone Cold back, who was actually not there for the first episode of SmackDown. I don't think he was. I think he was actually injured at the time. But you'll have all these big names come back. Shane, of course, will be there. Kurt Angle will be there since he was, I believe, there when SmackDown made is debut, or he was almost there. Jeff Jarrett may make his debut, make his return to SmackDown because he was actually there for the first episode of SmackDown Live. Maybe we'll have him have interacted with Elias on that day. That would be something. We'll have a lot. We'll have a lot for SmackDown Live. Maybe this will be, hopefully, the only time they do this, a 3-hour SmackDown Live. And with it being the 1000th episode, I would be fine with that. A one-time only 3-hour episode of SmackDown Live for the 1000th episode would be warranted for this night on October 16th. I honestly think they would do that. Usually SmackDown, of course, is from 8 to 10, but for this night and this night only, an 8 to 11 show. No run over, but 8 to 11 show, or 7 to 10 because, 205 Live, or they could, I don't know how they would do that, but yeah. Or preempt 205 Live and be like, 205 Live will be on Wednesday, but in a tape format. We have NXT and then 205 Live from the previous day, whichever. But a 3-hour SmackDown Live, if it is to happen, I'm just making a speculation here. But if they were to do a 3-hour SmackDown Live for this one night, I think SmackDown deserves this one night. For the simple fact is, it's 1,000 episodes, and just like Raw, you don't get that very often for anything, for any type of show. Like, it's really rare that you get 1,000 episodes out of anything. So SmackDown Live, 3 hours. If they make it and they call it that, and we get that one time only SmackDown Live for 3 hours, you heard it here first. Cody Rhodes was asked, and he has a reply on a potential WWE return, and why he doesn't see that happening anytime soon. On September 1st, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks were self-funding an event named All In, with the goal of seating 10,000 people, and I think he's going to have to find more room because the lineup that they have, Jay Lethal's going to be there now, Okada, Tessa Blanchard's going to be there, which I did not have notes on that, but she is. But WWE lost a big chance on Tessa Blanchard right now. And Kenny Omega, of course, is supposed to still be there. Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, of course, going to be there, and many, many more. I think they're going to have to get a 15,000, 16,000 seat arena with all these guys that are going to be there. As long as the list of names confirmed for the event with the former world champion, Jay Lethal, of course, Chelsea Green, who is also known as Laura Van Ness, and Zack Ryder's girlfriend, Britt Baker being 3 of the most recent. According to Cody, although he is putting together this event, he does not desire to start another promotion because he wanted to watch Dream throw $2 million in a hole doing that. With the success that Cody has experienced in Ring of Honor and New Japan in the indie circuit, a return to WWE does not appear in the forefront of his thinking. The former WWE Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion confirmed this during a recent fan Q&A session on social media. When asked about a WWE return, Cody stated that it is unlikely and that he is literally incapable of taking that direction. Cody tweeted, "Unlikely. There's a huge place in my heart. They raised me, but my music is my music and I play it how I want. I am literally incapable of taking directions." Cody is in a great place in his life. Seriously, this guy does not have to ever. He doesn't need the WWE. WWE, quite honestly, would need Cody Rhodes because I could see him being a world champion, but WWE would never push him that way. Cody Rhodes is a guy who they did not see as anything more than a B plus player. That whole entire B plus player storyline they did with Daniel Bryan, that's how they felt Cody Rhodes was. He was like his father, like his brother. They would just give you a gimmick and he can make it work. That's something that Cody Rhodes did really well. The just being the guy being Bob Holly's rookie, getting Bob Holly helping him, being part of Legacy, being the dashing Cody Rhodes because WWE put a poll up and asked the women, and all the women thought he was the most dashing, which I thought was a bunch of bullshit how they played that out, but it worked. To him getting when Rey Mysterio literally broke his nose and they had him wear a face mask, one of those face protectors that you usually see NBA players use. He played that fucking part perfectly. The guy didn't want to be seen. He thought he was ugly. He thought his face was ruined because of Rey Mysterio. The guys he had with him giving out bags for people to put on their heads. That shit was great. And of course they did this Rhodes Scholars, which I thought was great, and I think they could have went a little bit further with that with Damien Sandow and him, but they gave it up. And then of course what happens, they put him in face paint and a suit like his brothers and make him Stardust, and that was all he was going to do from here on out. Putting him in that package as a Stardust, he was going to go no further than his brother did. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, is one of the most talented guys and one of the guys out there who could be a fucking world champion if given the chance. Not as Goldust, if they would have gave him a chance, probably as Dustin, maybe something else, but as Goldust, the character was not a world championship material. Dustin Reynolds as something as like himself or something else would have been great. Dustin Rhodes as Dustin Rhodes you had Dustin Rhodes in the WCW, NWA, and early WWF when he came in and wrestled with his father a little bit, would have been brought out. Now, if he was that age now, he probably would be a little bit more over and probably be better off where he, as not being in his dad's shadow. They could have been like Dustin something else just so he didn't have the name now, and then eventually become Dustin Rhodes or something. But yeah, Cody Rhodes knew his worth was better than what WWE was ever going to use him for. He leaves, he goes to the independents. Now, quite honestly, that right there is like treading water when somebody leaves WWE. Because you could leave, go to the independents, and just fall flat, and you're doing nothing. What did Jinder Mahal do before when he got released? Nothing. What did Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre is one of those other ones that made a name for himself. He got fired. He didn't want to do anything for a while. If you actually watch, if you want to see a good promo by somebody, go watch Drew McIntyre's return to What Culture Pro Wrestling after Joseph Connors almost broke his neck. That was one of the most passionate speeches I've ever fucking heard somebody talk about. He gave what happened when he went to WWE, why he didn't last there, and everything else from that time, and why he is the guy he is today. Cody Rhodes is going down that same road, only he's succeeding where other people besides Drew McIntyre failed. Cody Rhodes comes back to WWE. Don't you think what they're going to do to him is like, oh, Cody, great to see you back, son. Here's your face paint. Here's your thing. See you, Stardust. No. Cody Rhodes is better than Stardust, and he knows until the old man is gone that he has no place in WWE other than face paint and a bodysuit to take over for his brother. So good on Cody. Honestly, I think if Cody Rhodes wanted to, he could probably run his own little promotion if he wanted to. But I know he doesn't want to do that because he's got way too much left to do. Honestly, if you're an active competitor like Cody Rhodes is, there is no reason to have your own promotion. A one-time show like this is perfectly fine for Cody, in my opinion. So, Roman vs. Brock apparently ends in a botched finish. This is from from Friday. Yeah, I keep getting my days messed up. The Greatest Royal Rumble Universal Champion Steel Cage match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns ended in confusion as the commentary team scrambled to determine whose feet hit the floor first. Clearly it was Roman because Brock Lesnar was still on the steel mesh, but when it was clear that Roman Reigns' feet hit the floor first, Before Brock Lesnar, the commentary team quickly changed their tune, claiming the winner of the match would be the individual who exits the structure first. Since Lesnar exited the cage first as a victim of Roman Reigns' spear, he would be declared the winner and retain his Universal Championship. Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter believes the finish to the match was botched and tweeted the following: "Feet have to hit first. Roman's feet hit first. They botched the finish." I fucking agree. I don't care what anyone else says. This is my opinion. I've heard Solid Monster also bring this opinion out too. Roman Reigns is lucky he didn't injure himself even more, because when he speared, he's lucky that steel mesh was there and it wasn't like it went out sideways, because he spiked his head, and if they didn't land on the steel mesh, Roman Reigns is probably hurt, like badly. That steel mesh is probably the only thing that saved Roman Reigns from actually suffering a serious injury. But they go out. Brock Lesnar is laying on the steel mesh. He's still on the cage. Roman Reigns lays and rolls over, and he gets out onto the cage. But yet they give Brock Lesnar the win. So basically, this is going to lead to Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again at either Money in the Bank or at SummerSlam. And I don't want to fucking see it. I don't care what anyone else says. Brock Lesnar won the match because WWE wants to give you another reason. If you're trying to build this guy's sympathy, if you're trying to build Roman Reigns' sympathy, I have bad news for you, Vince. It's not working. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. Where do you get this shit that you think that this shit's going to work? It's not. The Roman experiment has to end. Plain and simple. There is nothing left that this guy can do. He is not over. He will never be over. If you don't like it, Vince, I don't fucking care. This guy is never going to get sympathetic. I guarantee you, when he comes out on Raw on Monday, bitching, complaining, "I got screwed. I should be the Universal Champion, but you gave it to Brock Lesnar. Vince McMahon, this is a conspiracy. I should be a Universal Champion. I want a rematch." The crowd is going, except for the 5 or 6 plants over there that are cheering Roman Reigns and "you got screwed," the rest of the fans are going to boo and say, "Fuck you, Roman. Get the fuck out and shut the hell up." It's time to give somebody else a shot. How many other fucking matches are you going to give this guy? He lost clean at SummerSlam in the Fatal 4-Way or Fatal 5-Way, I don't remember which one it was. He lost clean at WrestleMania, and because they changed the rules, he lost clean in the steel cage match. There is no confusion. It needs to end. There is no fucking reason to do another match. It's either you give him the title at Saudi Arabia or you move on. And this is just enough of this shit. I don't know what Vince is thinking. I don't know what Vince wants anymore. But this has got to stop. Hornswoggle, Little Mini Dylan Pastel, a.k.a. Hornswoggle, got a huge pop. Roman Reigns got booed. They went to all the trouble to try and get this guy cheered in Saudi Arabia. They sacrificed the WrestleMania main event to try and get this guy cheered, and what happened? He was booed. There were a little bit of cheers, but he got fucking booed. When Greg Hamilton said Roman Reigns in his introduction, boos. Boos and nothing but boos. Of course, there wasn't the "this is awful" or any of those type of chants we saw at WrestleMania, but boos the entire time he was out there. Nobody fucking likes Roman Reigns. He is damaged goods. It was either now or never. And right now, it is never. Give it to Braun Strowman. It's Braun Strowman's time. Fans want him. Give him what they want. And stop with this bullshit Roman Reigns fucking shit. Roman Reigns agenda to try and get this guy over. He's never going to be over. Period. Enough of it. Steve Austin has some praise, though, for somebody at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Steve Austin praised the Friday's championship match at Greatest Royal Rumble between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Steve Austin tweeted, "Shinsuke is so much better as a heel. AJ is off the charts good." That is just another feather in Shinsuke Nakamura's cap and AJ Styles' cap. AJ Styles needs no more praise. This guy is just the best there is in WWE, plain and simple. Shinsuke Nakamura, we were all questioning, outside of those people who probably paid attention to New Japan, because I sure as hell never have, that he was a good, it was they turned him heel. How is this going to go? I don't know. Yes, it does. The heel turn had to happen because Shinsuke Nakamura did not win the title at WrestleMania in order to make this thing last more than a match. Because a face versus face dynamic is fine for one match. Like when you had Finn Balor versus AJ Styles at TLC in a match that only happened because the Mumps infiltrated WWE and said no to Sister Abigail. Thank God the Mumps were there. But that was fine because those guys were just having a match to have a match. It was to just have a match. This one needed to be heel versus babyface in the end. So this match, of course, was better than anything we saw at WrestleMania, even though they got held back. This one, and still felt like it could have won another 10 minutes. The John Cena versus Triple H match could have been nixed from the show and gave that all to Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. It felt like the match at Greatest Royal Rumble did feel rushed. Like they were just getting into the groove, and then AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura roll out of the ring and count it out. And of course, it was announced that this match will happen at Backlash again. I hope with a stipulation, because why not? I mean, you have Nakamura low-blowing, becoming the Nutcracker Nakamura, as Solomon Monster actually called him. I thought that was funny. I actually laughed when I heard Solomon Monster's review, and he actually called him Nutcracker Nakamura. So, yeah. Nakamura as a heel is working out. The music, something you have to get used to, just like anytime someone's music changes, because it is what it is. But yeah, must be a feather in the cap for both men when a legend like Stone Cold Steve Austin calls it just good, and AJ's off the charge, and Shinsuke Nakamura is a better heel. This next portion, I'm so glad they didn't go with this, because I would have probably sat there and said, "Turn off I'll be back for the regular show." Which anybody who saw the pre-show, there were no matches. They were contemplating having a match, and it got nixed. Thank fucking God, because this would have been just fucking awful. PW Insider reported there was talk of joining a singles match on the Greatest Royal Rumble kickoff show. When I first read that line, I'm like, oh God, please tell me they weren't going to put the cruiserweights on the kickoff, just like they did at WrestleMania, unjustly. But that obviously never happened. The original plan was for Hornswoggle to wrestle Rob the Giant, I can't even say his name, Arajal, to appear for WWE as announcer WBL or JBL for the Hornswoggle versus El Torito WLC match, which was god fucking awful, cringe-inducing, and I never want to see another one of those again. At Extreme Rules 2014, let's forget that ever happened. Rob also appeared for Hulk Hogan's Micro Championship Wrestling. In the past, plans were changed at some point in the day, and they decided to put Hornswoggle in the 50-man Rumble match instead. WBL was thrown to Saudi Arabia, but not used. So, yeah. Hornswoggle versus the guy who played WBL or JBL, whichever one you go with. Thank fucking God that didn't happen, because that would have just been boring as fuck, and I think everybody probably would have shit all over it. Just saying. By the way, Hornswoggle was not eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and neither was Shane McMahon, if you actually look at how a Royal Rumble goes. Over the top rope, both he touched the floor. Hornswoggle went under the bottom rope, or under the ropes, to get up to the top rope to do a tadpole splash. He got kicked in the face, fell back down outside the ring, and then got knocked off. He wasn't eliminated. Shane did his coast to coast. He hit the coast to coast Van Terminator, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Withered around a little bit in pain because of his head, pretty much hitting the mat. Shane goes up for a second one, but does not actually come back in the ring. He crawls over to the ring, to the top rope, gets up and gets thrown off, not going back in the ring. So Shane and Hornswoggle both have a gripe about not being eliminated from the Royal Rumble. We're going to have one of these every so often. News on Sami Zayn not being in the Greatest Royal Rumble match or at the Greatest Royal Rumble at all. Sami Zayn was not in Friday's Greatest Royal Rumble match in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Sami is of Syrian descent and started the Sami for Syria Medical Clinic. or mobile clinic in Syria last summer. Saudi Arabia and Syria cut off relations in 2012. Sami did not make the mention of being in the match on Raw this week. He did make the mention of being on the match Raw this past week when he said that the event was called the Greatest Royal Rumble because Kevin Owens and himself were going to win the Rumble match, although later the segment above was shot where Sami said he wasn't feeling well and hinted that he wouldn't be able to go to Saudi Arabia. It should be noted that the promotional image they posted earlier this week that was posted a couple weeks ago had Sami notably missing while Owens was on it. Basically, all it was Sami Zayn is of Syrian descent, and WWE didn't want to go against, didn't want to offend Saudi Arabia by having somebody from Syria of Syrian descent being in the event, even though I'm pretty sure that would have helped. He is a heel, WWE. This is something I don't get. He is a heel. He comes out. He's of Syrian descent. I understand why they didn't do it, that's probably why he probably wasn't allowed in the country because of his descent, but if he could have been able to be in the country, he's a heel. You had the Devari brothers in this show come out waving the Iranian flag. They were waving the Iranian flag. So this kind of makes me kind of contradicted of why they did that, because Iran and Saudi Arabia are not on good terms either. It would have been great to see Sami Zayn come out, be booed by the fans, probably be heckled by the fans, and then get his comeuppance and taken out, and every time a babyface attacked him, he would have been cheered. WWE released a statement on Sami being absent from the Rumble event. As reported by WrestleLink, WWE has released a statement regarding the absence of Sami Zayn from the Greatest Royal Rumble event. Zayn had initially come in entering the 50-man Rumble on Monday Night Raw, but due to him being of Syrian descent, it was said that Zayn would not been allowed to compete on the card. The following statement was sent out by WWE regarding the matter. WWE is committed to embracing individuals from all backgrounds while respecting local customs and cultural differences around the world. Oh, really, WWE? Then why is Saudi Arabia's gaming GSA apologizing for you showing women during the Rumble event? As we all know, one of the biggest controversies going into the Greatest Royal Rumble was WWE not being able to have their women come to the show. And people were throwing fits like, how could you work with somebody who doesn't allow women? You have this whole women's initiative, but you can't use the women here. They're getting paid $250 million over the next 5-10 years. WWE, look at everybody who is feminist and social justice warriors. If you were offered you were given a 10-year contract for anything in business, and it says by the end of these 10 years you are going to make $250 million. No, and you have to follow these guidelines. Would you turn that down? Anybody who says yes is a fucking idiot and doesn't know good business. Anyway, last night, Friday at the Greatest Royal Rumble, WWE aired the Best of Both Worlds advertisement to the live crowd during the show. Bad idea. According to Saudi Arabia's General Sports Authority, this broke a rule that was in place regarding female superstars being shown in any form or promotional material. The GSA issued an official apology to Seen Below, with the Reddit user also translating the statement. The General Sports Authority would like to apologize to viewers and attendees of last night's WWE event that took place in Jeddah over the indecent scene involving women that appeared as an ad before a segment. It would like to confirm its total disapproval of this in the shadow of its commitment to eliminate anything that goes against the cultural community's values. The authority has made sure to ban showing of any segment that involves women wrestling or any scene related to it, and stipulated that the company, WWE, the authority, also disapproved any promotional stuff with pictures or videos showing women in any indecent way, and emphasized on commitments of this rule, and it's a commitment that authority would still commit to forever in all of its events and programs. WWE, you knew this. This is on WWE's part. You have a 10-year contract with the General Sports Authority in Saudi Arabia, and show one, you're going to break one of their rules. Not a good way for WWE to kick off this partnership with the General Sports Authority in Saudi Arabia by saying, here's that, and can we please get rid of that Best of Both Worlds advertisement, because it is so fucking bad. The other one where it's just like the superstars of Raw, the superstars of Smackdown come together to to put on a pay-per-view is fine. We don't need this shitty fucking best of both worlds where you have Carmella dancing halfway through it, getting tired, and is like, I need a bottle of water. Then we drink it, and then we get back to dancing. That's just fucking stupid. You knew that this shit was not allowed, yet you showed the fucking advertisement anyway, you stupid fucks. That, like, WWE pretty much got a slap on the wrist this time. If it happens again, I'm sure the General Sports Authority will not be happy because it's like, look, we told you before, and WWE could probably lose. Like, if WWE keeps breaking their rules, it would not be good for WWE. That $250 million would probably be great for WWE in the long run. Here comes the coach again with his thoughts on shit that fans say. The coach lashes out at a fan calling the Greatest Royal Rumble a glorified house show. Which, coach, it was. In the wake of this past Friday's Greatest Royal Rumble, Jonathan Coachman has defended the company against a fan on Twitter who called the event a glorified house show. He says some crew literally lived, and he put lived in all capital letters, in Saudi Arabia for over a month to make that show happen on Friday. They say this is so disrespectful. Crew and production merely get props that they deserve. It is so good all the time. Taken for granted that such a show yesterday. First off, coach, he's not making fun. He's not pissing on the production team. He's not pissing on the crew members. He's pissing on the fucking booking team who stacked this fucking card and then played it off as a glorified house show. You stupid fucking idiots. Yes, it was a glorified house show from start to finish. Yes, we had good laugh at Titus O'Neil for falling and sliding in underneath the ring. It was a glorified house show, plain and simple. You stupid fuck. There was nothing special about this show outside of the statue and the fact that you had pyro in the stage. You built it up to look like it was it could rival with WrestleMania, and then you gave us a flat show. It was a glorified house show. This isn't going against what the crew did. That's not what this guy's saying or this person's saying. They're saying that the show in the end sucked. It was not a good show at all. Yes, you had the Undertaker return, but who cares? I mean, people in Saudi Arabia probably enjoyed the Undertaker because that's probably the first time in a long time, or if ever, they got to see the spectacle that was the Undertaker's entrance, which in the United States, it's not a spectacle anymore. They got to see Triple H versus John Cena, which they probably didn't get to watch back in the day. Who knows when WWE was first being shown in Saudi Arabia? I don't know. But it was a glorified house show. This didn't need to air on the network, plain and simple. Outside of the tag team titles going to Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, nothing else happened on this show. So he's not disrespecting the crew. He's not disrespecting the production. Those were top notch. The crew and the production for this show were top notch. That does not mean that this was not a glorified house show. This was 110% a glorified house show. This had no reason to be on the WWE network. It was just for WWE to put on there because they can. This is just a little bit of an upgrade from what we saw at Beast in the East, and yes, I said that. In that, we saw Finn Balor beat Kevin Owens in a subpar match for the NXT Championship. So, Coach, slow your roll. It had nothing to do with the crew and the production. It was the booking. It was the booking of the show and the pace of the show. Outside of Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles until the double countout, then the Cruiserweight Championship match, anything before the Rumble was just subpar or lower. And then, of course, the Greatest Royal Rumble was too much filler because there's not enough big guys. They did not bring out Seth Rollins The Miz, Samoa Joe, or Finn Balor. I think they could have had them all come out instead of giving us Primo Colon or Hornswoggle or any of these other guys that did not need to be in there. So it was a glorified house show, and Coachman needs to just shut his mouth and just go back to being a shitty commentator because he has been one of the worst commentators since he's come back. Former NXT champion, news on Samoa Joe and why he was moved to Smackdown Live. This is probably why he was moved to Smackdown, but it makes a lot of sense. Former NXT champion and former TNA star Samoa Joe was probably the biggest heel acquisition on Smackdown Live. No, he was Outside of Andrade Cien and Sanity on the main roster, I should say. Out of everybody who came from Raw to SmackDown, he was the biggest acquisition on SmackDown Live for SmackDown Live, and that includes Jeff Hardy. However, a lot of people were surprised by this brand switch, as well as they believed that the companies wouldn't want to move a top heel like Joe to the Blue brand from their flagship show. If this report by PW Stream are to be believed, the real reason why Samoa Joe was moved to SmackDown Live was for him to avoid Roman Reigns. They made this claim in a recent tweet. Per sources, Samoa Joe moved to SmackDown Live to avoid Reigns. The two will have a match soon. However, following that, Reigns, as expected, will be running Monday Night Raw. Yeah, right into the ground like he is right now. As such, Joe wouldn't be a pivotal part of the show. WWE wanted him to play a big role. He wouldn't be on Raw, hence the move. Samoa Joe set to face Roman Reigns one last time in a while during the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view, and they are not likely to cross paths soon afterwards because of being on different brands now. Considering this is certainly possible that the company moved him to the Blue brand to avoid confrontation with the big dog, the big neutered dog. However, unless a better source confirms the reports, we'll have to take it as a grain of salt. Yes, that's how you take sources. Like, unless it's from Justin Barrasso sometimes, or a couple, or like PW Insider. Dave Meltzer, you have to take with a grain of salt too, because it's mostly his opinion now. But like the guys from PW Insider usually get the shit right. And there's another one too. The Sports Illustrated, the guy Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated is 50-50. He really is. If it's about Rey Mysterio, it's mostly bullshit. Everything else, he's been getting a lot more right. This is WWE just. I can see why they're doing this because Samoa Joe overshadows Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe does. When Joe came back from injury the night after WrestleMania, when Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns was in the ring bitching, complaining because he was getting another title match that he did not deserve, by the way. Samoa Joe came out, cut the most savage promo on him at the time. When he came out, it was Joe from the crowds. This Samoan, which I don't think he's actually Samoan, but this Samoan named Joe is over. Joe Onowale is not. Joe Onowale, a.k.a. Roman Reigns, is not. So they want to move him to SmackDown Live because they don't want Samoa Joe to take any more thunder away from Roman Reigns that he already has. And of course, this does make, since Roman Reigns did not win the Universal Championship at the Greatest Royal Rumble, this makes their match at Backlash unpredictable. Samoa Joe should win the match, because what is this loss going to do to Roman Reigns? Nothing. Roman Reigns losing to Samoa Joe after he just got bitched out by Brock Lesnar two times in April tells me that Samoa Joe should win that match. I'll talk about it more on next week for the preview and predictions for Backlash, because we got to go straight into that again. Hopefully for the last time, 2 weeks in a row. Oh my God. But yeah, I can see Samoa Joe winning at that show at Backlash, and then having the momentum from winning that, going on to SmackDown and being a major player over there, while Roman Reigns licks his wounds, gets his balls back from WWE, and tries to become the big dog that WWE wants him to be, which will never happen. Roman Reigns beating Samoa Joe, of course, means nothing if it happens. Samoa Joe beating Roman Reigns means everything. WWE will probably stop calling Batista when there was rumors coming out a couple weeks ago, like last month or 2 months ago, that Batista was in the running to be in Ronda Rousey's partner, and then all of a sudden things stopped. Like they stopped calling him, obviously. During a recent interview with 106.7 The Fan, Batista commented on being a potential tag team partner for Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34 in a breakdown in his talks with WWE. This is all insider stuff, and I usually don't share. I really am an old school kayfabe guy, but they reached out to me earlier this year to possibly come back and do that thing with Ronda. I said that I would be willing to do it if only we teased something for me and Hunter to go to Mania next year. And they said, yeah, that would be great. I love that idea. And it said, well, that's great. I'll come back a few times during the year and we'll tease it and we'll work it and we'll milk it. and we'll go to Mania, me and Hunter next year. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that idea. Let's do it. And so we literally talked for about like 3 weeks, and then they just stopped calling me. I sent a text to Hunter. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you put any more thought into what was going on. I'm really excited about the possibilities, and I literally never heard back from them. They just stopped talking to me about it. Man, I don't know what else I can do to try to do. I want to end my career the right way. I'm faithful and loyal to WWE. I am proud of being there from there, and I want to do good business with them, but they just don't make it easy. You know, they just don't. Which, I don't know why they would stop talking to him. We have not, there's like, still, this is, of course, this is coming from Batista, so this is legit. Like, he wants to come back, and Batista has been talking about this for years, since 2014, that he wants to come back and have a retirement match at WrestleMania against Triple H. Now, it is only April of this year, and talks like Triple H could come and could text him back or text him in the next few months or so, and something could be set up by him making a return at the Royal Rumble, and going from there, and they build from like the Royal Rumble up to WrestleMania, because you really don't need that much of a build for these guys. But we'll have to wait and see. And then Batista went on to speculate about time running out on his in-ring wrestling career. I just don't want to be the old guy in the ring, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. Mark Calloway should follow that tone, because Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker, is turning into a Terry Funk. And I did just say that. I just want to end my career the right way, and next year will be the last opportunity, so if we can't make something happen by next year, then I'm just going to officially hang it up. I love it there. Even though the fans totally crapped on me the last time I was there, I would still go back in a heartbeat, and I'd love to entertain them, and I would have fun doing it. I'd be happy to be there, but I just don't get it. I don't get that company. I just don't understand. That sucks, because Batista should come back, which the problem with Batista coming back as anything more than a heel, I don't know. Like, him versus Triple H, Triple H should, I don't know how they would do it, but yeah, I like that he has that sentiment. He doesn't want to be the old guy who's coming back just for a paycheck. Undertaker needs to take that step, because Undertaker has become the Terry Funk of WWE. He's coming back. He's old as fuck. He's 50-some years old. He's washed up. He does not need to come back anymore. Yes, I'm saying about The Undertaker, even though I do respect The Undertaker. His time has come and gone. We do not need to see The Undertaker again. No, his last match was not at the Greatest Royal Rumble. You're not going to end The Undertaker's career on a useless throwaway casket match at a glorified house show against Rusev. So WrestleMania 35 better be it for The Undertaker. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, unless they go to Survivor Series this year and he calls a career there. Undertaker, as I said, at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I think I tweeted it out too, I'm done with this act. The Undertaker has overstayed his welcome. It's time to look towards the future and stop grabbing from the cookie jar in the past. So I hope Batista has something. I hope WWE comes back with Batista sometime down the line, because it would be great for him to be able to come out and be like, hey, I want to beat Triple H. I want to take Triple H on. He probably would have Triple H beat him too. Who knows? We'll have to. That's something I don't know what else they can do. He wants to finish his career by ending it with Triple H, coming full circle pretty much with this guy, because Triple H was the guy who brought him under his wing to help him grow and become the superstar that he became until he left in 2010. So if he does, and as he said, if Triple H and them don't get back to him by next year, he's just going to say, fuck it, I'm done. I'm just going to be a movie star now, and so on and so forth. And when they do eventually call me for the Hall of Fame, I'll be ready. News on Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler on Raw. The Superstar Shakeup always brings a sense of excitement as WWE shuffles the roster in the hope of creating fresh feuds and even better matches. While there was some absolutely huge moves taking place last week, such as Jeff Hardy, The Bar, Samoa Joe, were on the move, it's clear that SmackDown Live left the Shakeup as the worthy winner. Shakeup. On one of the biggest moves that left the Blue Brand and joins Monday Night Raw was Dolph Ziggler, although Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode will arguably be considered the bigger rivals compared to the show-off. On the surface, a Ziggler arrival would have been nothing to really get excited about, but based on how his career played out on Tuesday Night Show, after Miz left. Quite honestly, after his feud with The Miz ended, Dolph Ziggler did absolutely nothing. But you can't say that about when the Superstar Shakeup started. I mean, when the brand split started. Because, I mean, okay, after his feud with Dean Ambrose, because that match between him and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam was god awful. But when he was pursuit of the Intercontinental Championship, that was great. He even put his career on the line to win that title. That was some of the best storytelling that SmackDown Live put on in 2016. However, all eyes were certainly on him, and he didn't arrive alone, bringing NXT's Drew McIntyre with him in the process. Although they've currently decided to target Apollo Crews in Title's World Slide, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer has revealed that there could be some big plans in the works, with McIntyre reaping the rewards further down the line. Now, again, this is Dave Meltzer, and Dave Meltzer, who does not have a WWE source anymore, according to everyone else, this is mostly his opinions, which sometimes they do come to fruition. Speaking on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer has suggested that Dolph Ziggler and McIntyre, who seem to be going now by the name of the show, that has not been confirmed. That was just something Dolph Ziggler said. Could find themselves as the Raw Tag Team Champions soon, which, of course, would end the reign of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I'm going to say probably Money in the Bank. I would say Money in the Bank, let these guys build up a little bit, but give Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy at least a 2-month reign, maybe 3-month, April, May, and then June. They lose them in June, something like that. And that could be followed up by a big breakup to catapult McIntyre into much bigger programs to turn him into the big star he once expected to be. According to Ringside News, though, he said they're a really good team. They could be the tag team champions. They should be the tag team champions and probably split. And I sense that that's what it is, because I can't believe for a second that the long-term vision is of McIntyre as a tag team with Dolph Ziggler. I think it's a way of kind of slowly build him up and then do the turn on each other, and then McIntyre is being pushed to a higher spot on the card. Obviously, with a split eventually coming down the line, it suggests that McIntyre is the one that will benefit from it, especially since it looks like the company is serious about giving him more of a natural push on this occasion, as opposed to the forced one he received previously, which failed. Which, by the way, Vince, if you want to take notes from how you fucking failed with Drew McIntyre and apply it to Roman Reigns, maybe Roman Reigns wouldn't be as badly hated as he is, because you forced and tried to manufacture a push for Drew McIntyre that went absolutely nowhere, and now you're doing the same thing with Roman Reigns, and it's going absolutely nowhere. For Ziggler, though, a tag team title win could be the catalyst to reignite his career, when was the last time Dolph Ziggler was a tag team champion, by the way? The Spirit Squad, maybe? But a split which leads to a push for McIntyre can be even more detrimental to Ziggler and his future in the company, especially with this contract situation up in the air. So, yes, of course, anybody with a functioning brain can tell you, yes, this is where they're going. I'm fine with it. It should happen this way. So WWE is going with this for now, and I'm fine with it. It's going to be great for them, plain and simple. Drew McIntyre should be in the Universal title picture, if not Universal Champion. He should be the one to beat Brock Lesnar, in my opinion. Have these guys win the tag team titles. Have them win them for a month. Have them win them at Money in the Bank. Lose them at whatever the pay-per-view is in July. Have the breakup happen. Have him actually win a Fatal 4-Way, Fatal 5-Way, 6-pack challenge, whatever the fuck, tournament, whatever, to find out who Brock Lesnar is going to face at SummerSlam, and have Drew McIntyre be the guy to beat Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre, if you look at Drew McIntyre, they always talk about Randy Orton being how you build what a prototypical superstar should be. They've done that with Randy Orton his entire career. Triple H, when they formed Evolution, would sit there and praise how Randy Orton will be the future of the WWE. He is what you would make a superstar look like if you were molded out of clay. That's the same thing you can say about Drew McIntyre. Not Drew McIntyre back before he got released a couple years ago, when he was the chosen one, the prick who Vince McMahon would go out, and when McIntyre would lose, come back and say, that match didn't happen, the match restarts, and then Drew McIntyre wins. But that shit, no. This Drew McIntyre, who came out on Monday Night Raw and cut that huge-ass promo that was needed, that's the guy we need to see become the Universal Champion and slay the beast. Fuck Roman Reigns. He's not worth it. Drew McIntyre, quite honestly, the dude's not even in his prime yet. This dude, Drew McIntyre, if they give him the rub and they give him the natural push Don't just go out there and shove him up the mountain. Have him slowly climb, or give him that natural push that everybody knows he deserves and has earned. Give that to this guy, and watch fans just hate him or love him as a heel or a babyface. The guy is a great heel. He is a great babyface if he's done right. And give this guy the Universal Championship and put your money on, put the company on his back, and Drew McIntyre will take you to where you need to go. Roman Reigns' experiment is dead. Drew McIntyre should be the next guy in WWE. And I'm not the only one saying that. That is going to be all, everybody. This is The France. You can find me on Twitter at The France, twitch.tv/TheFrance08, as you can see on the nice little screen here. I will be here on Monday for our Monday Night Raw review, the aftermath of the Greatest Royal Rumble for Raw, and the build-out and the go-home show for Backlash, and then, of course, SmackDown Live, NXT, preview and predictions for Backlash on Friday. We'll be back on Saturday next week for Unscripted, and then Sunday for Backlash. Until then, I'm really enjoying doing this stuff. Thank you to everybody who did check out the Greatest Royal Rumble, and thank you to the new subs. I appreciate each and every one of you who do. Hit that like button, comment down below, and I will see you guys on Monday for Monday Night Raw, the aftermath of the Greatest Royal Rumble, and the go-home show to Backlash. Until then, have a good one.